Hi everyone, Noe Jose. Sorry about the mess that I have here, but I did a video about the Smart Arm 1.0, about the issues that I encountered when I received it. I provided feedback to Prime, and they were really transparent with me, and they took the feedback that I gave them and other people's feedback, and they went back to the drawing board and they work on a new bracket and a new torque arm, which I received them. I have them with me. So I will be making the switch. They gave me some instructions. They gave me some prime green special edition wrenches. So I got the instructions and the prime green wrenches. I also need other tools to make this switch, but mainly what they sent me was there's a new bracket. So I don't know if you can see, but it is basically angle. So once you put it in the upright or in the single stack or HLP rack, this one angles out, so the torque arm doesn't hit the upright. So we're gonna test it and make sure that's the case. I did test it when I was at the Prime headquarters, but they didn't have it on a single stack. They had it on angle upright. So I'm just gonna double check it with my HLP single stack and make sure that clears it. And then the other piece is the torque arm, which the main difference from the other one is that this is stainless steel and the other one is chrome. So I'm gonna make a comparison between the two pieces that I receive once I get the hardware out of the older one, and then start making the conversion, because this one doesn't come, as you can see, with any of the horns. Another difference is that this is angle, and it's shorter. It's a shorter tubing than the other arm, but I'll get into that once I get the hardware out of the other ones. And then another thing that I'm missing is the rotating knob for the counterweight. They didn't have that in stock, but they're working on it. So basically, if you order a 1.0 arm and you receive that one, you'll be receiving the torque arm, the new angle bracket, set of instructions, the prime green special edition wrenches. These are not 3D printed, these are real wrenches. And then the counterweight rotating knob that removes the washer, and then you put that one in. And in order to put plates in, you need to screw it out, screw it in, screw it out, put the plates in, and then screw it in and tighten them. That way they're secure and they don't fall down. So let's get to the disassembling of the older piece. Well, be careful because there's washers. There's 4 washers. All right, so this is the older bracket. If I put them side to side, you're gonna see that one is longer than the other one, and one is angled out. All right, so this is a better way of looking at them. This is the older one. All right, so now let's assemble the arm. All right, so I was able to fit the two shims or washers. I still have two left. There's no way that I can put these ones in here. This was a lot of work, so I put one here, one on each side. I did reach out to Prime, and they said that they're not needed. So if you wanna struggle like me, you can go ahead and put one on each side. Otherwise, just don't install them and you should be good. Tighten. Then the arm should be good. Okay, now this piece over here. All right, this step is done. Now let's go to the torque arm. So the torque arm has one, two, three horns. Remove all the bolts and then I'll compare the two of them and see how it is. You can see that the tubing is shorter. I think it's hard to see, but the arms are actually the same. So this piece is the same length. It's the same length, just the tubing is at an angle. So this one is angled and this one is straight. I'm gonna put back the horns on this one and then go from there. In place, so now I'm gonna tighten. All right, I'm done. All right, so Prime finally sent me the Ninja Star or the Shuriken, the weapon, however you want to call it, but this is what they sent me. This is a star, and then thread, and then this that goes on the back, and then they send some red Loctite. So basically, I'm gonna replace this washer that is a little bit oversized. And in my other video, I can show you right now. But in my other video, it's basically, this is where the 20 pounds counterweight goes. So 2 of the 10 pounders. So basically you cannot get it in because the washer is oversized, so it's preventing it from getting the plate. And you can say, oh well, I can remove washer, has the bolt and then the washer, put in the 10 pounds plate, and then put this one back, right? But this one doesn't get tightened, and it works. Like this is not gonna go in and out, so it's basically working, and it also prevents it from falling apart. But some plates actually can fit in this washer. I have a Watson and it fits. So the problem is that now the plate can fall while in use. So I'll bring a Watson. So now we have a Watson and it fits with the washer on. But now you have the issue that if you have another 5 kilos or a 10 pounder, 2 of these 10 pounders or similar plates, they can push out and then fall on your feet or on your bench or any other thing that is underneath. For example, I have the leg of my single stack there that can cause cosmetic damages. So what Prime did is they replaced that one with this Shuriken or Ninja Star, and then basically what they are asking you is you thread this into this. You thread the Ninja Star into the coupling, then you remove the bolt on the back, and then so they send you instructions on how to do this. So step 1 is put a little dot of red Loctite on the center of this 1-inch button headed bolt, and then tighten into the back of the sidearm, and then tighten into back of sidearm using a 3/16-inch Allen wrench. So let's do that. So I got the red Loctite. Alright, so the bolt actually don't go all the way where the head touches it. So step 2 is to tighten this coupling in the bolt inside. Alright, so it's tightened. And now you have this star that you can tighten and untighten. So to test it, I have one 10 pounder and then I'm gonna add another 10 pounder. So you can see that these 10 pounder are thicker than other ones. So you have a little bit of, like only half of the second plate touching the counterweight horn. So I have another 10 pounder. You can see there's a lot of, like not even half of the plate is on it. But now I have the Morning Star. Well, to my surprise, it doesn't work. So I need to untighten the coupling inside so I can try to reach it. But this doesn't work for me because my plates are thick. So basically, if you have two 10-pounder like my machine plates, each of these I think is 1.5 inch. All right, so each of my plates is 1.25 inch. So both of them are 2.5 inch. So if you have 2.5 inch or even a tad smaller than 1.25 inch, so if both of your plates measure 2.5 inch or each of them measure 1.25 inch, then you will have this issue. So basically, you will have to unscrew the Morningstar, unscrew that coupling, and it's gonna be loose and probably not touching a lot of the bolt inside. Or you can get a longer bolt in the back, or you can maybe remove the plastic stopper in the back. But this is an issue. If this is an issue if you have thicker plates. All right, so I have the two plates, the Morningstar. It's pretty secure, like it's not going anywhere. So it works. It just like you need to unscrew the coupling in order to get it this way. So before we start the testing, I want to remind you that I can only test the bicep and tricep attachments, as I don't have the other leg pieces or seats to be able to test the rest of the exercises. So what is the Prime Smart Arm? So this smart arm behind me is a rack attached system that provides cable and free weight oriented loading options via their 3-pegged torque arm, and you can find this torque arm in all their plate loaded pieces of equipment or machines. With this, you can manipulate the resistance profiles to overload different areas with the exercise movement. So there's 3 settings. Setting 1 is the middle. That means that the weight gets it's heavier throughout the whole range of motion. Number 2, setting 2 is at the end or the shortened position. So once you are at the end of the exercise or the range at the end of the range of motion, that's when it's gonna feel heaviest. Number 3, which is the beginning or the lengthen, that means that the exercise it will feel the heaviest at the beginning of the exercise. This attachment or this smart arm will work on any 3x3 1-inch holes, that is rogue or rep uprights. A friend of mine tested them using those uprights, so it will work on them. This smart arm only includes the roller. All the other attachments that you'll see, the tricep, the bicep, the seat for the leg extension, leg curl, all of those different items can be purchased separately. And the cost for the arm itself is $1,250 plus tax and shipping. So what exercise can you do with the smart arm? So you can do bicep curls. There's 2 attachments for bicep, one that you can use the cast handles with it, and then the other bicep attachment is the swivel with fixed handles, so you can move them as well. The other exercise is triceps. You can do tricep extensions with this attachment. The third exercise is leg extensions. The fourth exercise is prone leg curls. The fifth exercise is back extensions. And then the last exercise that you can do with these are ab crunches. So in this video, I'll just show you the bicep and tricep exercises, just because that's where I had the issues with me hitting the upright on the third horn. So let's start with the bicep. So for that, remember that you need the preacher curl pads. Pivot the bench in position just behind the bench locator.
you bring the tricep attachment. We're going to load the third horn. So for this, I like to be in a lunge position. That way, the weight doesn't push me back. You can see he doesn't hit anymore. So now this is a pro tip for the tricep extensions. I like to use my Rhino belt. And for that, I need a carabiner. So for the belt, I attach it like that. And as you can see, it keeps you in the position that you want for tricep extensions. And normally you would require a back pad for tricep attachments or for this tricep exercise, but this doesn't have that. So the belt allows you to feel more and be more concentrated on the exercise. All right, we got that out of the way, and now let's move on to the bicep attachment. As per instructions, the bench needs to be at around 16 inches away from the bench locator. So the bench needs to be 16 inches. The back of the bench needs to be 16 inches from the bench locator. And it's good. It doesn't hit the upright. Here is another angle, so you can see what's going on behind the upright. So what's happening, remember that the bracket had an angle out, so that angle is making the plate clear the upright and not allowing it to hit it. So another thing that I learned is that when you're hooking it to the stack, make sure you have a carabiner mounted already on the torque arm. That way you can just hook it up to your carabiner, and that way you don't have any slack in the cable. Because if that's not the case, then you will need to pull this one out so you can hook it up to the hole, and that way you have that slack and you will feel the slack in the exercise. So just, if you have it, if you want to try this, that will make wonder for you. Just hook another carabiner to the torque arm and then hook them up, and that will eliminate any slack from the stack. Right, so one safety issue that I want to talk about is normally this would happen if you're doing like weird exercise with it, or just extending the range of motion more than what it is intended for. But when you're doing bicep curls or arm curls and using the stack without the hack that I talk about the carabiner, then that creates extra slack that you need to compensate. So you will need to put the bicep attachments lower to get that slack out, and then being able to get that starting position with the right tension. But then that creates more range of motion for the torque arm itself. And when that happens, you have the arm, and then it's supposed to stop with the upright. So if I press it from down here, there's no going anywhere. But if you keep rotating, it locks, and then the linkage gets overextended. So if I can show you this over here, that tiny piece of this tiny piece of metal or bracket is preventing the whole arm to fall. So the solution from Prime is a new rubber stopper. New rubber stopper and a longer bolt. A longer bolt. And these two go on the top horn. And the intent is to hit the upright with this rubber stopper. So if we try to replicate it, hits the rubber stopper, but you can still hyperextend the linkage with this arm. So the rubber stopper really didn't do anything. So the rubber stopper is just a nicer way, or like a bumper to protect the upright or making sure that it bumps, but the issue is still there. So if you overextend the linkage or the torque arm, then it's gonna fall down. All right, so you can see here the wall mount or the contraption, Frankenstein, whatever you want to call it. So make sure that you contemplate the dimensions for all of these. It's a little complicated. I can probably give you some rough dimensions. So from the door all the way over here, we have around 56. Let's say that you need around 5 feet lengthwise. For height, I would say around 3 feet, just because you need to leave some clearance once you remove this one up and out. I would say around 3 feet. And another thing is that, well, I have it against my door, but remember that this one have a pin, and then you need to get it out by moving it to the right. So you need that extra clearance to be able to remove and put back in attachments. And then it doesn't stick out much, but this is the part that this sticks out the much because of the angle bracket. The other one, the older bracket, would stick out less. So for this one, it's around 20 inches, but in general, I would say around 15, 16 inches, just to have that clearance. And this is how it looks once you have the torque arm, the body, the roller, and the tricep and bicep attachments. And then, of course, normally the bench locator, I keep it in my rack. But if you wanted a bench locator, you can go just like that in the bottom. So yeah, there you have the wall storage. So I have the opportunity to test the standalone hybrid tricep extension and the hybrid arm curl at a local gym. And here you can see the same exercise using the smart arm and then the standalone machine, and it doesn't feel the same. The standalone machine, you can see the back pad is more stable, and also the hybrid standalone machine has the cushions on the elbows, like a 35-degree angle on the pad instead of the 45-degree angle on the smart arm, and feels way better because on the smart arm you need a belt to keep yourself in place, otherwise the weight will push you out of the bench or move the bench pad. Also, you can see here the difference of the pads between the smart arm and the standalone. The standalone seems more premium and a better material. Here we have the arm curl. It feels really good on the smart arm. I didn't really feel a difference between the two machines. Handle is the same. The feeling feels the same. The only difference is that the standalone machine has a bigger pad, but other than that, it feels great on the smart arm, and that will be the only exercise that I will be using the smart arm for. So there you have it. This is the Prime Fitness Smart Arm, either 1.1 or 2.0 version. I still think there's a little bit of improvements that you can do. The end cap thing that I shared with them, it can be easily fixed even by increasing the bolt length or the coupling length, or the rod behind the end cap length, but all of those are easy fixes. But the main concern about hitting the upright has been addressed with the new version. I believe if you order the Prime Smart Arm right now, you should be able to get the new updated version that I just showed you. If you plan on getting it, make sure to use my code, NoWayJose5. It supports me and it helps me making these videos as well for you. You can, once you get all the parts, even with these limited parts, you can manage to get other exercises. You can try to manage or DIY or try to hack a row, and also another like a skull crusher exercise with this. That can be done. I've done it. I believe you will be able to do it. I'm not sure if they're working on any other attachments. It will be nice if they can release a newer, upgraded roller pad for leg extensions or leg curls that you can purchase for a separate additional attachments. That would be nice, similar to my leg extension, leg curls, as this roller is a little bit smaller diameter and a little bit different material than the one that I have in my standalone unit. If you have any questions, please drop them down below and I'll make sure to get to them. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.